Hi, this is Michael Wojcik with the Rochester City Council update for June 2nd, 2014. Four things I'm going to talk to you about tonight. A fairly short meeting by our standards. Our public hearings meeting took about 3 hours and 2 minutes, so lots of time to get this thing out tonight. Four things I'm going to talk to you about. Nicholas heritage preservation items, another development approved in Kutzke Park, Gage East, and some ongoing issues yet again at the Holiday Inn Express. Um, First and foremost, the Nicholas, the HPC had taken the step of tabling for more information, some discussion of the historic properties at. There are 8 properties that are going to be where the proposed Nicholas is, and 2 of them are being considered for potential heritage designation: the Kutzke House and then the Conley Home, 810 West Center Street, and the HPC had a table discussion, and the developer came and wanted us to overrule the HPC and immediately issue the demolition permits so that they could move the properties. Well, that's not happening for a whole bunch of reasons, not the least of which is we value the input of the HPC. But basically, the developer told us that we should move this along because we approved the project 7-0, and key thing here is that the approval of the project has absolutely nothing to do with our heritage preservation, and also they wanted us to make the determination that one of the homes was not historic, and we can't do that without the input of the HPC and having a public hearing to discuss the issue. And so what we actually did do is we directed the HPC to meet in the next couple of weeks and give us a recommendation whether or not the homes are historic. If they're not historic, that makes things fairly easy. Whether a move should be allowed in this particular case, and any conditions that we should place upon a move. There are some people, and they have it in their head that we absolutely have to issue a demolition permit in order to move these homes, and they're dead wrong about it, and they continue to be dead wrong. That we have to issue a building permit, but we can put whatever sort of conditions on any potential move that is required, because we need to ensure that these properties, if they are historic and viable in their current location, they continue to be as a result of this move as well. So we look forward to the HPC answering those questions for us, and we'll probably take this up at the next meeting. This is probably the one of 2 things really hanging out there before the Nicholas project can get going. Transitioning on to another similar size project in Kutzke Park went incredibly smooth. Very excited about some of the innovative things we're doing in this proposal. It's a 90-unit apartment complex which will feature 8 affordable housing units. 18 affordable housing units, and be located right on the creek on the north part of Kutzke Park. Beautiful building, quality materials, central air conditioning so you don't have AC sticking out everywhere. Buried utility lines. Because the building was long, they broke it into 2, even though it required them to have 2 elevator shafts. Outstanding facade on the front and the back, kind of a prairie-style 4-story building. Honestly, one of the smoothest processes I've ever seen for any project coming through the city. Broad support of neighbors. Developers going above and beyond by, even though they're not required, incorporating some affordable housing within the project. I think they're also going above and beyond in terms of assistance and with relocating some of the existing people that are in that area, and even going so far as to do it in multiple languages if necessary. Unanimous approval by the City Council, 6-0 for the zone change, 6-0 for the project. I wish they were all this easy. It's going to be a spectacular development. I'm really excited to see it get going. Special thanks to park staff who worked out some last minute kinks so that we could get everything going here today. Next up, Gage East. A lot of people thought that this was going to be controversial. I really didn't think it was going to be that controversial, and in the end, I think it was pretty unanimous. We heard some of the potential objections, but as I said at the city council meeting, the bottom line is you can't discriminate in housing against people that you do not necessarily want to be there or fear being there. As I said in the meeting, there's people who want to they fear crime because of this development. They fear decreasing property values as a result of this development, and I understand that they fear those. They're also dead wrong to expect that any of those types of things would come as a result of this project. It's an amazing project. It's going to take a lot of kids potentially on the streets and give them an opportunity. I think it's much safer it's much better for the public to address and give opportunities and invest in these kids as opposed to taking whatever might come if we leave them on the streets. Um, there were some people that said that, well, there's just too many kids. We don't want 25 units for homeless kids who are on their own here. And my response was, well, you pick which kid you want to throw back out on the street. I mean, it's if 25 is the appropriate number for this community, I support 25. And then finally, just the outstanding support across a broad spectrum of the community. I've never seen a project where the city council, county board, and school board and staff from all three entities worked so closely together. I'm really proud of the community and the people who came out and spoke in favor of this. I understand there are fears out there. The fears will be shown to be unfounded. This project will be successful like city centers on the other housing developments. And, it's not often I leave the meeting saying, we actually fundamentally changed something in this community that's going to make this community a better place. And we did that today. So I'm pretty excited about that. So really excited for working with two great developers. And now let's get to the shady developer. I don't know if shady, a little rhetorical hyperbole there, but ultimately we've had a lot of issues with Jeff Lamont's the guy's name. He built the Holiday Inn Express at the intersection of 52 and 2nd Street. The thing's been an absolute train wreck. The really shoddy development. We've had a number of instances with rather substantial stonework falling off of the building, creating a public safety issue, and also just a long list of violations in terms of things that they were supposed to do as part of the development that they never did. I'm still kind of trying to figure everything out, but they didn't, the plantings that were required are not there. The size of plantings was not correct. Ornamental fences left out. Substantial change to the materials in the building, to the appearance of the building. Within the development, landscaped islands in the parking lot completely missing, plazas that are gone, just some screening that was not there, just an absolute train wreck of a development. And we're finally cracking down hard. And the interesting thing is, we issued them a temporary certificate of occupancy some time ago, which has long since expired. So that building doesn't even have a certificate of occupancy at that point. They can't be operating in there. So we cracked down a little bit hard. Two actions that we're taking. We directed staff to get some barricades up to protect the public from the large pieces of stone that are falling off the facade. Interesting, as the pieces of stone have fallen off, they've apparently tried to glue them back up or something. Apparently this is happening enough they had plenty of extra stone on site, but no surprise they didn't even bother getting permits to do that either. I mean, it's an absolute joke that these people are operating in the city like this. When they come back and fix this, they will probably be pulling down all of the stone veneer they put on the entire building, and I'm going to push to make sure they come back into compliance with the site plan and the building elevations that they showed the city council back when we approved their project. Like I said at the meeting, a lot of really good developers, honest people who do good work in this community. There's no reason why we have to put up with this crap from Jeff Lamont. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's an embarrassment. I was on the phone with Jeff Lamont on Friday night, and he spent a significant amount of time trying to convince me that there was no stone falling off his building. I saw the stone falling off his building. It's ridiculous, and for him to try to persuade me of this is just so disconnected from reality and so very dishonest. And every time you try and crack down, it's, we're going to fix that in a couple of weeks. Well, it's been several years. Time's up. Get your act together. So they're going to be expected to immediately put up some barricades, and the staff's going to come forward with some corrective orders. And quite frankly, if they don't get their act together, we're just going to clear out the damn building. There's no excuse for them to be operating this way in the city of Rochester. I mean, you want to see a contrast? Take a look at the Marriott that's going, or the Homestead or Homewood or whatever it is, like a block away from this thing. Completely different levels of quality. I mean, it's a little bit bigger building, this new one that's going up, but just absolute high quality materials, well designed, compared to this circus act that is the Holiday Inn Express. I think that people need to realize that just being around that building is potentially hazardous to your health, and at least we in the city, we're finally cracking down on these people. It is a damn shame that for a building from 2012, I have to be doing this kind of stuff and raising the alarm. But to the council's credit, the corrective orders and insisting at their cost, they put up some barricades immediately, passed the council 6-0. So we're pretty unified in making sure they straighten this out. So that's what's going on. A little bit of a bummer to be dealing with the Holiday Inn Express again, but between this development with this innovative approach to including affordable housing in the Kutsky Park neighborhood